This tactic has an 100% win rate. It is going to be my best 3-4-2 that I have made this year. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again, do come and swing by the live streams. No, you've not got to go to Twitch. We live stream directly on YouTube, so whack that sub bell on, because trust me, you get to see me make the tactics live, you get to see me make them in terms of managerial stuff as well. So much going on the live streams, and currently we are looking at a quadruple with United, with every game hand played, no simulations. But today, let's focus on the best 3-4-2-1. First off, it's going to be with a team you might not expect to actually be able to play a 3-4-2-1. It is going to be Arsenal. Now, I would not have them on my 3-4-2-1 list, should I say, but they did do very well. We are going to go invincible in the Premier League, runners-up in the Champions League. Unfortunately, Inter Milan, a little bit too strong. FA Cup winners over Liverpool, and Carabao Cup winners 5-4 over Man City in nothing short of a blockbuster cup final, to put it bluntly. Now, in terms of the players that we have, we absolutely dominated the stat lines in almost every regard when it comes to player stats, and league stats incredibly good. 146 goals, 913 shots, 182 shots faced, hardly any, defensively remarkably good, and possession is also going to be there as well. So we did enjoy a great season, and the data hub backs it up even more. 3.84 goals a game, 0.53 conceded, 24 shots. We're covering every element of football and doing it to such a high level with a free back. That's not always heard of on Football Manager, but what can I say? We do love a free back. To put it bluntly, the FA Cup final against Liverpool, we actually got the game wrapped up incredibly early on. We're going to go 1-0 up here very early, just literally before the 30th minute, and Liverpool collapsed almost instantly. We are going to go right through again. Good play from Saliba at the back into Odegaard. Great overlap around from Tomiyasu. Plenty of space, drives past the man, and it is going to be another little tap-in from Martinelli. Simple. We're then going to go over and test with a team in the French Second League. That is going to be Clermont. We are going to come out and win 30 games, 3 draws and only the 1 loss. Unfortunately, we are going to fall in the French Cup on penalties to Monaco. So we could have potentially got to the final. That is probably the only thing which I would have liked to seen a bit better. But other than that, I'm not going to complain. In terms of the actual league stats, even possession, we're going to be competitive in second place. But if you actually look how many we took home, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A mixture of defensive stability, a mixture of dribbles being made, and goal scoring wise, there is not a single team getting within a fraction of us. And the data hub will even represent that even more. More goals than with the previous team, defensively way under a goal conceded, a good amount of shots, a great pass completion. I mean, seriously, this is looking very good. The result you've been looking for, the 100% season, and probably the most well-suited team for this tactic, RB Leipzig. They can play this way, they've got the players, they've got the pace, and it really does suit them. Now, I will go over and say the Pokal was a very, very scrappy final. We do win it on penalties, so we're not going to watch that game because it was quite boring. The Champions League, the real only disappointment, but in terms of players, I mean, we have got some top players, don't get me wrong, but it is so refreshing to see RB Leipzig at the top and taking home even the possession stat, the most goals, the most shots, the fewest shots against, the fewest conceded, the most clean sheets. We genuinely are an absolute unit, and the data hub will represent it again with 3.62 goals a game, a good amount of goals conceded, under half, which is absolutely remarkable. Hardly any shots conceded, loads of shots that we do actually put on the opposition, a great pass completion, and a good tackle win ratio. And once again, 3 tactics today, every tactic played its part. So for example, we're going to go through right now. With Arsenal, I used the default version because I wanted more of a safe approach. With Leipzig, we used the attacking version, hence the goals being scored. And with Clermont, we did use the defensive version. So every tactic has a use. That is why they're there. They're not there for fun. So make sure you go over to that Patreon and download all 3 to get these sorts of results, or copy them. You can copy them. That is why they're in the video. So don't worry, it's not one of them ones where you have to go over, but it will save you a lot of time and also support me big time. So it's completely up to you. But genuinely, in terms of results, I'm not going to want anything else. Especially when you're beating Bayern Munich 9-1 at home, and they had no injuries, so I don't want to hear any Bayern excuses, because I tell you what, Openda, literally had his own way with them inside of 6 minutes. A very, very early start, and the fact that we can actually proudly say we have got another 8 goals to talk through is absolutely ridiculous against Bayern. Again, this one is a little bit more scrappy, and it does leave Xavi Simons with probably one of the easiest goals he will ever score. But again, you can only score what's in front of you, and if it's an open goal, you've still got to get the job done. A great set piece there. The mixture of the tactic, my set pieces, the training. Honestly, this was probably one of the better RB Leipzig seasons I've had, and I have done quite a fair few this year. There is nothing Bayern could do. They could not stop us. We were incredibly good down the right-hand side. Now, this wasn't directly planned because we actually focused down the left and the right, so there's not a favour to one or the other, but we just had a lot of fun really targeting that right-hand side of the pitch. As you can see, another goal coming in. This occasion, it is going to be on the left with Raum on the ball, again, taking on his man. They're not afraid to get forward in this team, and it is going to be a great ball in, and as you can see here, quickly pause it, look how many people, a free block of people, that front three, the 2 AMs, the striker, is going to be there. And sometimes in Football Manager, you find a tactic which is just impossible for anyone to beat. And I'm going to be honest, I think this might be what I'm talking about, because the play is absolutely incredible. A great ball out wide into Henrichs, plenty of space, maybe a little drive himself. He is a ball inside into a Pender, a great finish into the bottom right. And I've almost lost count of the goals that are going in now, but I tell you what, it was not a pretty one. They're giving away penalties now. It doesn't really get much worse than this, and do you know what? The one positive Bayern had was from a long kick, and it was a little bit annoying we did actually concede this because it would have been a clean sheet, but we still had an 8-goal cushion. And people, over to your favourite part of the video, that is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, do come on by the live streams. And if you do enjoy rebuilds, we have got a second channel. We essentially have so much FM content right now. We've got rebuilds, we've got tactics, we've got streams. If you like Football Manager, you're going to like the channel. So hopefully I see a few of you in that live chat, because we talk tactics all the time. We've got currently a potential quadruple winning season happening live with every game played on the main channel. So hopefully we can get that job done as well. The next stream is going to be Monday in the evening around 5 PM GMT, so make sure you swing on by. Now, to make this tactic, we are going to start off very basic. We are going to load in a clean slate, and for now, let's just load in this and we'll build it together. Now, one thing that I will say is we are going to go down here and change from balanced all the way up to positive. And now let's get crafting this system. So just to start, we will drag these players here so we can get a rough understanding of the tactic shape. The goalkeeper is not going to be a goalkeeper. He is going to be a sweeper keeper simply on support. No custom instructions. By default, he will naturally take more risks, so we don't really need anything else. We are then going to operate with a wide centre-back on the right-hand side, who is simply going to be told to tackle harder. There's one thing that I've learned very early on with this game. It is really good to get the players tackling harder at the back, because otherwise they become sort of standoff, they don't really do much, and you will concede goals from it. So this is by far the most meta way of playing. In the middle, we are going to play with a straight sort of line. We're not going to have a cover or a stopper. We are going to have a ball player in the middle who also is going to be set to tackle harder. Again, a bit of advice here. If you have got a ball playing defender, like someone ridiculous who is really good at the ball, you could also add dribble more on. But for me, I kept it pretty reserved. Next to him, we are going to add another wide centre-back, who once again is going to be told to tackle harder. Very important you use wide centre-backs, because the wing-backs are actually going to be using complete wing-backs, and they will act as wingers, as we saw in the highlights. So they're going to push up incredibly aggressively, and these wide centre-backs, if they're not in this area here, it's almost like a free pass for the opposition to have a winger running behind, find space. They need to be sitting quite wide. Now, as I just said, a little spoiler, we are going to use 2 complete wing-backs, and both of them are going to be set to attack. So please, if you're using this tactic, make sure you've got players that can play this role. If you don't, you could use wing-backs on attack, and you get very, very similar, not the same, but similar results. Now, these players are going to be told, both of them, to take more risks, dribble more, and also tackle harder. And this is where it comes down to your team, your players, because you need to make sure your players are good at the attacking side of the game, because if not, you won't get the same results. So you need to make sure you've got good attacking complete wing-backs. And what does that mean? It means good stamina, good acceleration, good pace, good crossing. They need to have it. They need to be able to go up and down the field, attack, put balls in, and really contribute to the team's attacking success. Going over to the midfield, again, these are roles I wouldn't really look to change. On the left, we are going to have a Volante coming in. He is simply going to be set to support, and he's going to have a couple of instructions consistent of taking risks and also tackling harder. Nice and simple. And next to him, we are going to have a DM, but he is going to be told to be on the support instead of the defend, and he is simply going to be on tackle harder. So it's actually quite a mixture of midfield, because we've got a DM who will obviously defend, and the Volante will also do that, but will push forward, move into different areas, and really contribute to the attack and play. At this part of the video, I do want to quickly say, if you are enjoying, be sure, if you are interested, check out the Patreon, because we can offer all of these wonderful perks, and at the moment, we are going to be announcing a giveaway literally tomorrow. So, or by now, it will actually be up. So you get all of these perks, including all 3 of these tactics. You get them on console, on mobile, you get my rebuild files, one-on-one tactical help, so many more perks, even more than what you see listed here. And I tell you what, the support recently has been absolutely mind-blowing. Also, we are now live streaming, so you get early priority in all the tactics I make live on stream. You get my live stream file. There's so much more going on now, purely because of that decision to live stream. I can give so much more back. So hopefully I see a few of you over there. Let's go over right now and talk about the importance of these two attacking midfield players. Now, these players is pretty common sense, okay? But you need to have very, very creative players to play in these roles, because majority of the assists, apart from what the wing-backs offer, obviously come through these. And ideally, if you can, also a little bit of the finishing would be handy on at least one of them, because as we saw in the Leipzig team with Simmons, they will also chip in with the goals. Now, on the left-hand side one, we are going to have him set to take more risks, dribble more, and also set to tackle harder. And on the right-hand side, we are going to have him simply set with a couple of instructions on take more risks and also set to dribble more. So just the one change. And up front, we are going to use the advanced forward, who is simply going to be set to tackle harder. Now, in terms of the team instructions, we are going to operate with fairly wide. We are going to pass into the space with low crosses, focus down the left and the right while playing out from the back. That is to really, really get the wing-backs involved. As we saw, a lot of the goals against Bayern were from wide areas. It's absolutely broken. We're going to run at defence with that higher tempo and that shorter passing directness. In transition, we're going to look to counter-press, counter, and simply play to the centre-backs. And lastly, out of possession, the high press, the much higher defensive line, much more often prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, and simply step up more. Now, this is going to give you the tactic that, of course, is the default version that we did use with Arsenal. Now for the one with Leipzig, the 100% win rate tactic. So this one is very, very similar, but you are going to see some key changes. Now, the goalkeeper, the centre-backs do remain exactly the same, so no change there. The complete wing-backs also do remain the same because they're already very attacking. But on this occasion, we are going to go with the double Volante. On the right, simply on tackle harder, support. On the left, we're going to go support, take more risks, and tackle harder. On the right and on the left, 2 shadow strikers, the biggest change of them all. Really, really, really aggressive, and the advanced forward does remain unchanged. In possession, we are now set to attacking, no positive, simply attacking. Fairly wide, pass into the space, overlap left, overlap right, focus down the right, the left, and also play out from the back. We are really pushing the wide areas now. We are also going to use low crosses. This does remain the same because it's already very aggressive, and we are simply going to add on run at defence because that is the way we want to be playing. In transition, counter press, counter, play into the centre-backs, and on this occasion, we are going to distribute quickly. And lastly, out of possession, we're going to go right in with that high press, the much higher defensive line, step up more, get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and of course, a maxed out trigger press. Now, if you are interested in playing with a smaller team, like Clermont, where you are going to need a bit more defensive stability, or you want to try and defend a game out, this is exactly what you want to be doing. So the goalkeeper, the wide centre-backs, and the actual ball player in the middle do remain unchanged. The complete wing-backs change quite a bit, both on support, both on ease off tackles and mark tighter. The DM on the left on support, on tackle harder. The DLP on support, on also tackle harder. Both of the AMs simply on support, on roam, move into the channels and tackle harder. And the advanced forward also comes in, remaining unchanged. Now, this tactic will actually have a bit more of a lower tempo, more direct style. So we're going to go back to positive. We are still going to be playing fairly wide, passing into the space with the low crosses and running at defence. This also, we're not going to change because it's done us so well, but we are going to look to go a little bit less on the tempo. We're leaving it in the middle, and we're going to up the passing to slightly more direct. In transition, we are now going to have a more of a drop-off approach, but we are going to maintain with that counter when we have won the ball. So sit off and then counter, and actually even changing the goal kicks, going quite more direct in that regard. Out of possession, we are going to roll with the standard line with the high press, the trigger press bang on in the middle, and the defensive line set to step up more. And that's going to give you, boys and girls, 3 variants of the best 3-4-2-1 as to date. Now, we've got tons of time left in the game, and it is one of my favourite formations, so you might see another one of these in 3-4 months' time, which is a little bit sad because we'll still be on FM24, but I do appreciate anyone that still shows love to the videos, the streams. And a little last plug, if you are interested in getting all of my tactics from this year, which is close to 220, all of my rebuild files and so many more perks, go over and get that Patreon, because at the moment you're just about in the window to get 20% off your first month. So please do go over, enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.